What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over how it might be very possible that Palantir loses one or more of their government contracts with the United States in 2021. So we're going to go over the exact reason why that is. We're also going to go over some of the very important events that Palantir has coming up in the near future. And as well, we're going to go over the option plays that I have for Palantir in order to put myself in the best position to play these events. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys enjoyed this video, please go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible and grow my channel. And you guys get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks and learn about a couple of new ones. So if we come over and look at the chart of Palantir, at the end of 2020, they had a pretty significant sell-off. That was basically probably due to institutional rebalancing and people taking Palantir profits at the end of the year. And we can see that Palantir went from about $9.26 all the way up to the $33.50 mark at its high. But Palantir has recently had a pretty significant run-up, and this run-up was mainly caused by Alex Karp's interview with the Washington Post 2 weeks ago. So basically, he was talking about all of the different things that Palantir has been doing. They were pretty tight-lipped about the exact specifics of their systems, and I think the reason that they are being so hush-hush about all of the things that they've been doing in 2020 is because they have their demo day coming up. We're going to go over that later in this video, so make sure you stick around. So there was an article released the other day that basically said that CDC officials urged Biden team to dump Palantir's COVID tracker. So basically they said that the system had problems from the very beginning. It never functioned in the way we thought it was going to. So if we come down here a little bit further, officials working on the Trump administration's data collection efforts during the pandemic have suggested to transition officials for President-elect Joe Biden that the new team get rid of a newly minted system organized by Palantir, warning that it is not accurate. So that is a big problem. If Palantir's software is not accurate in tracking the hospital supplies, cases, testing, and other things, then that's going to be a very big problem because the government is paying a lot of money for this system. And if it's not functioning the way they think it was intended, or it's just not doing a great job, then we're going to see some problems with this contract, and they might terminate these agreements a little bit early. Now, the Palantir insiders obviously know this is happening, and they have a very significant event coming up on January 26th. If we take a look, Palantir has its inaugural live demo day on January 26th, where they're going to provide product demonstrations of its Foundry, Gotham, and Apollo platforms, and they're basically going to cover examples of its commercial and government work. This is going to be even more important now than before when I was talking about this. The U.S. government, some individuals who have been working with this system, have come out and said that it is just not what they thought it was going to be and just not effective. So Palantir is really going to need to provide some very good examples of why this system and software is actually effective and is being used appropriately by the officials that have been given this software. So that's also going to be important. We're also going to see some other examples of their government work. About $175 million of Palantir's revenue last year came from governments, and it was mainly to help out with the pandemic. So we're going to see exactly how effective and successful Palantir has been in helping. It could be very effective, and they have been very successful, or it might come out that their system and software really wasn't that great and the governments didn't really need it. Prior to this previous news article coming out, I was very bullish on Palantir going up and through this event. Now, I'm a little bit less confident just because insiders who have actually been using the system say it's just not all that great. But overall, I think Palantir is still going to be continuing to get massive contracts, and I think they're also going to release some really great things on demo day. I think once we actually see the actual insight and what Palantir is actually doing with their systems and how they work, we're going to be able to get a better understanding of the company and their true valuation. Now, their true valuation, a lot of people have said that it will come after their earnings announcement. I think that's very possible. Their numbers are going to be very important. It's basically going to be their first quarter as a publicly traded company. So those numbers are going to be very important for investors. So February 11th is going to be a very important date to watch out for. And then 3 days after Palantir's next earnings, which is February 11th, so on the 14th or 15th 15th of February, their share lockup period is going to expire. So essentially what that means is that some of the insider shares, the original investors, the C-suite or high-level employees have had some of their share position and equity position locked up, and they have not been able to sell it up until the share lockup period expires. So that's going to be the day that we could see some pretty big selling pressure in Palantir. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. If you're an insider at Palantir and you know all of the ins and outs of the software, what different contracts are coming in the future, and you know the value of the company, I don't think there's any reason to sell your shares if you plan on staying at the company long term. Now, there's definitely going to be some people that are going to liquidate some of their position, but I don't think it's going to be overwhelmingly crazy and it's going to cause the share price to crash. So overall, I'm still very bullish on Palantir. I have actually a options position in Palantir going into demo day and earnings. So this is the February 19th expiration date. I've talked about this position a lot in some of my other videos, but these are priced at about $1.94 right now. That's the ask. The mid price is between $1.83 and $1.94. They were up about 20% on Friday, which is pretty good. My contracts position overall is up about 60%, so it's nothing crazy in terms of options. I'm still waiting to ride the run-up, hopefully at and through demo day and up until earnings. I'm planning on selling these contracts. I think I have 2 of them before earnings, so I can just kind of take my profit. And we can see that the implied volatility on this strike is about 106%, so it's incredibly high. I'm not really willing to hold about $400 or $500 through earnings. I'm expecting this position to be worth anywhere between $900 to $1,200 before the earnings announcement. So hopefully it gets there. If not, I'll still be able to make some profit. It's up around 60% right now. But the open interest on these contracts is pretty insane. If we take a look throughout the option chain, it's pretty unusual on this specific strike. So 38,639 contracts are being held in people's brokerage accounts right now. If you multiply that by the ask price of the contracts, there's about $7.5 million betting that Palantir will go to 30 by February 19th. Now, it doesn't actually have to go to 30 in order for you to make money. See, you can see that the stock is trading at $25.64, and my contracts are up about 60% from where I bought them. So you can still make money with options if the stock doesn't go through your break-even price. So we can also see that almost 21,000 of these contracts were traded, so bought and sold on Friday, which is a very substantial amount. So the open interest should go up on Monday. We'll be able to take a look at that once the next trading day hits. But if we come down here, we can see that there is an even higher open interest on these $35 strikes. So this is about a $4 million bet on this specific strike, but you can see that the volume is less than the contracts that I have at the $30 strike. So a lot of people are betting that Palantir will go up in the near future. If we take a look at the put contracts, there's not really anything insane on the open interest. There's nothing that really sticks out. It's pretty even throughout the board. And same thing with the volume. The volume on the puts isn't that big. On Friday, the highest amount of contracts traded was on this $22 strike, and that was about 3,000 contracts. Comparing that to the call options, they had about 21,000 contracts traded in one day, which is a very significant amount. So that's going to be it for this video. I think Palantir is going to be just fine going into the future. We're just going to have to figure out what exactly is going to happen with Palantir in the United States government. But overall, I think Palantir is going to be an amazing company going into 2021 and beyond. If you guys were able to buy Palantir early at the $9, $10, $11, even $12 mark, you guys have such a massive gain right now that it doesn't even make sense to sell any of the position. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice. You can do what you want with your position, but I think it's a pretty good spot to be in if you bought Palantir early and you have held all the way up until this point. So that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video, and comment down below your thoughts if you think Palantir might lose some contracts from the United States government.